Ice on 3, 1, 2, 3, ice!
Ready. Okay.
Energy on 3, 1, 2, 3.
All right, Rocket football fans, it's that time of year again. This is when everybody gets happy in Rocket Land. And Coach Courtney, we've already had the COVID challenges, but this week we're going to kick it off against Webster County. It's going to be Young Rockets night. We're going to be at home. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Can't make it. The game's going to be on the NFHS network. There's a little subscription fee for that, but it's about the price of going to games during the year. So I think it's $70 for the whole season, or maybe if you just want 1 month, it's like $12. But it's well worth it. It'll get you basketball and anything else, the volleyball games and such. So NFHS network. I want to mention our primary sponsor, Whitetail Properties, has been our long-standing sponsor of the Coach Show. We appreciate Mark Williams, agent, and all our other fine sponsors and partners, and we'll get to some of those in just a moment. First of all, I want to start off talking about Webster County. They're 0-1. They lost last week 47-9 to Hop Central, a team that we scrimmaged. So you know a little bit about what you're going to see. And then their coach is a good buddy of yours, played college football with him.
Yeah.
Tell us about that relationship.
Yeah, me and Coach LaGrange, we met. I'm actually a year older than him, but we were really good buddies at Kentucky State. We roomed, not together, we weren't roommates, but we lived right beside each other almost the whole time I was there. And we're just really good buddies. He played on the offensive line. We were actually both team captains my senior year, and he was the offense and I was the defense. So, and then we kind of linked up. He got a job down at Webster County and actually called me, and he said, "Hey, man, do you want to come down here and coach?" So that's how I got to Webster County. Got to coach some of my good friends. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And you spent a couple of years over there with him before you came here
Yep.
as an assistant coach.
Yep. The first year I was over there, I was the defense coordinator. He was the offense coordinator. And then he took over for 1 year as the head coach, and I was the defense coordinator under him.
So Coach LaGrange, and he's been there since 2016. Not too many wins. I think he's still in single digits over there. 9-43 record. Tough place to win.
It is. I think when we were over there, we started the flag football program and trying to kind of mirror it like it is now. And that's his freshman now. That's his freshman. So he's hoping that, and I hope for him too, that it'll all pay off and start coming around and getting those guys. I know his numbers are way up, freshman and middle school. So I'm hoping for the best of them. They can get it turned around.
So this is a Webster County team that we've beaten 11 years in a row, 14 out of the last 15. And a team that we've played every year that Webster County's had a football team. Crittenden and Webster have had their series other than 3 seasons, and one was last year, and that was one of the games that got knocked out. So we did not play them in 2020. But this is a team they're in Little League. They play them. You play them in middle school, so you're very familiar with this program. And it's a team that, quite frankly, we've had our way with. And coming out of the chute with the situation we've been in with a little COVID issue the last couple of weeks, it put you out, ended your opportunity to get that second scrimmage in, and then Murray High was scheduled regular season last week. So tell us what you've been doing to get back in rhythm after being out basically 2 weeks, right here when you're trying to get out of the chute.
Right, yeah. I mean, I guess it was bad timing kind of, but great timing too. Hopefully we got it out of the way and we can move up from here. But we came back on Saturday for the guys that could, which we had the majority of the team back. And we've just been trying to knock the rust off, get our legs back under us, get some wind. We're off 10 days. We sent out workouts and stuff when we were off, so hopefully, that.
I'm sure they all ran every day.
Yeah, I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt that. But just trying to get them back into it. 10 days, that's a long time, especially for a kid. So, and we've been rusty, so far this week in practice some, but we've been getting better each day and just trying to get back into it, really, just everything, back in shape. Offense getting more crisp, defense getting back, really just everything. Back to the fundamentals, kind of like treating it like day one, like we're just starting over.
It's so hard when you get interrupted like that, like you said, and then just start over from scratch, basically. And I know that's tough, particularly for football, because you'd kind of hit your stretch.
Right.
You'd had some guys out during the preseason, and you're just getting them back, and then really getting ready to take off at the right time. But I want to mention a couple of our sponsors. Farmers Bank and Trust, one of our greatest sponsors here in the community, loyal partners. Deer Lakes Golf Course, First United Bank, and La Delicia Mexican Restaurant. And we'll run down a few more of those in just a moment. While we're talking about the COVID, situation, Coach Courtney. I know you don't. There's some privacy issues. You can't really get into too much, but I understand it's going to continue to affect us a little bit personnel wise still this week with some quarantines.
Yeah, we'll still be out some people that can't come back, and it will affect some things and shuffle some things around. Don't want to get too into it, but we'll be out some people that would normally be in there, and you never even know anymore. It's a crazy, time. It could change tomorrow or whatever. Any time it could hit. So more than ever, and I know you always hear next man up, but coaches really now, you really has to be next one up. You better have guys prepared, and that's what we're trying to do because you just never know what's going to happen right now.
So we can't really talk about who at this point. Of course, the fans will see who's not in the game, but as far as naming them right now, we'd like to give them that privacy. But we can talk about some of the guys that it may give an opportunity to get on the field that maybe get an opportunity to get out there and earn a name for themselves right off the bat. Or there's some guys that maybe play in a different position than they typically do, or a different side of the ball, or some individuals who second, third team, they're going to get in there now.
Yeah, we could see that, and it could shift everywhere with rotations and stuff. So not even necessarily per position and changing people around. Preston Morrison, you might see him in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some things happen at running back. We don't know that. I know that's something that we've worked. And some other guys, Tyler Belt, the JV, and in our first scrimmage, it really, really has played well. So he's a guy that we're seeing like, man, we might want to give this guy opportunity and see what he can do with those guys.
Now, is he a receiver or running back?
Both.
Yeah.
Both, yeah.
Just put the ball in his hands.
Yeah. He's an athlete. We get it to him in space and just see what he can do. But so far, so good. He looks really good. So
I was afraid he got sniped down at the JV game. I was watching on the NFHS network, and at the end of the game, he went down. I thought he either got shot or he's got a bad cramp.
Yeah, it's a bad cramp. Hey, them guys are tough. Them JV guys, they come in kind of a walk through on Saturday and off 10 days and go play on Monday. And didn't have very many of them that were able to play either. So
and when we get a minute here at the end of the program, we'll talk a little bit about that JV game. But some of your other guys that might have an opportunity somewhere else.
Deacon Holloway's one that'll be, I think, on the offensive line and the defensive line, be able to and not. Holden Cooksey should be back this week, so we're excited about that. But he hasn't been cleared until here lately. So Deacon was kind of on the outside looking in of like the defense line and some of the offensive line reps. But with the Cooksey going down and some other things, he's been right in the mix, and I would expect to see him both offensively and defensively more than maybe expected or was doing early. Mm-hmm. And somebody can make an impact for sure. Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah. He is a beast.
Yeah. Anybody else we got?
Off the top of my mind.
Yeah.
We'll have some young guys like Hayden Adamson. We're excited about Tanner Beverly, like guys that haven't played for sure. Let's go in there, and get them out there, and see what we got. Guys
off
like
the
that,
bat, throw them in the fire.
We got some young guys. We plan on rotating guys, not just for this year, but always. We just believe in that, just to have as many guys ready as we can. We're going to play a lot of guys, as many as we can. We're going to get them in there, both offensively and defensively. You
mentioned Hayden Adamson and Tanner Beverly. Both of those guys have not played since middle school.
Right.
In fact, it popped up in my memories on my Facebook page this week was a picture of Ben Evans, one of your seniors, carrying Hayden off the field. I guess it was the game he got hurt when he was an 8th grader.
Oh, okay.
And I sent it to my son, but I didn't repost it. But some of those guys, and Benjamin keeps talking about how good they're looking at practice. So that's where I get a lot of my info. Yeah. My intel comes from one of your guys.
Yeah, you got a good source. But to step in and not play that long, my goodness, they did a great job. We've had good luck with that. Ben Dobbins last year was able to do it, and then those two come straight in. And just athletes can go out there and do a lot of good things for us.
Mm-hmm. So take a moment to shed a little appreciation across some of our fine partners in our show. All of our digital work here with the Rocket Football Program. We appreciate them for all that they do to support that. Frazier Law Firm in Marion, Kentucky. Pictures in Time. That's Moments in Time Pictures. That's Reese Baker. Hodges Sports and Apparel. And Riley Tool and Machine. Of course, you'll hear Riley Tool and Machine. Todd Riley, the voice of the Rockets. He's the PA guy. So appreciate his support of the Rockets as usual. So this is your first year as the head football coach. Now you've been around. We're very familiar with what you're going to do on defense. Probably. We know what your past set of work has looked like on the defensive side. But what's the Gaige Courtney era going to look like offensively? No, you have an offensive coordinator. I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it'll be the Austin Berry show.
The Austin Berry show.
Yeah, Sean trusted me to run the defense, and I think it was, I made some bad things, did some good things, hopefully, but I was able to learn, and he trusted with me in it completely, 100%. He had no hands in it.
It's because he knew nothing about it. No.
maybe so, but it was good for me, and I know what it meant to me. So it's the Austin Berry show. What Austin feels like, I might have suggestions here and there, but at the end of the day, it's going to be whatever he wants. I give him 100% right to do whatever he thinks is best, and I trust him. I trust him, as a player, played with him, been friends with him forever. I think he's going to do a great job, and I just want him to have full control. So whatever Austin Berry wants it to look like.
Well, is it going to look like the Sean Thompson area, the Coach Starnes
It'll
area?
be the spread. It'll be similar.
Yeah.
It will be similar. Another quarterback, so obviously we like to throw the ball around. We feel like we got a lot of weapons, but we also feel like we're good up front too. So I expect for it to be balanced. We'll be in the spread formations most of the time. I mean, we have power stuff just like any other team. We can get down and run the ball as well. But for the most part, it'll be pretty similar to what we've done in the past.
Yes, of course, Austin Berry is a record. He was a record setter at the time, held the passing record when he graduated. And I believe you played with him when you were a freshman,
yes,
right? And then he moved on, and then little quarterback for you guys, J.D. Gray.
Yeah.
It's quick. J.D. wouldn't throw it for anything, would he?
Yeah, we didn't want him to. He took off. Good things are going to happen.
Yeah. So we've got Austin Berry, who was a passer. I mean, we had a passing team back then. He had TK Guess and some of those guys he threw to, so we can assume we're going to throw the ball. And then, of course, this week you're talking about low press, and I still call him low press, and we don't have big press anymore. But Preston Morganson will be possibly in the backfield, so that's one of the guys you're going to pull. He's typically a wide out, but then that's where you're loaded, right, at receiver.
Yep.
So you can afford to move some guys out.
Right. Yeah, we were looking at it again today, and it's tough right now. And without playing the games, especially the second scrimmage that was more game-like, being able to see what all these guys can do, we think we have a really good idea, but there's not been an opportunity for them to separate themselves a lot, like a game will do. So this week, hope that a lot of guys get a lot of reps so we can see what they can really do under the lights. So just right now, they've all looked good in practice. So we're going to see what they can do when it means something.
And we all know, all of those who follow Rocket football, that those guys who graduated after last year's team had filled a number of positions for a number of years.
Right.
And a lot of these guys, particularly in your linebacking core, is all untested.
Yep.
And as far as that goes, this week, talk a little bit about some of your linebackers, some new. So these are all new guys. So who's some names we're going to see?
We'll see Briley Berry. We'll see Zach McGahan. We'll see Luke Mundy, who did start last year for us, but is now in a different position.
He was a hybrid last year.
He was a hybrid, safety. And then we'll see Cohen Stone. And we might see some Gatton Travis, too. He's a guy that I think will carry a load on offense. We'll just see how it works out. But
on defense?
No, on offense.
So whether he
plays defense or not, it kind of go based on what he's doing on offense.
Yeah.
But those five guys will carry the load the majority of the year as of now.
And we talked about this a little more at length on our podcast that I posted now almost 2 weeks ago. We were kind of in preparation for what we thought was going to be the Murray game. But you can go listen to that. It's on the Crittenden Press online. And then also last week's newspaper, we had the full-blown football preview. Right. So if you want any more details and depth charts, where these guys are going to play, all that stuff was in the newspaper last week. And we did talk more about personnel much more in depth on the podcast. So go back and listen to that. It's all archived on our website. I want to grab a couple more of these sponsors and partners we have in our program and digital work that we do for Rocket football and the other sports for that matter. Ellington Detailing, Homestead Auction Realty, C-Plant Federal Credit Union, H&H Home and Hardware, Full Body Fitness. That's Full Body Fitness Studio. Serena, everybody knows Serena Dixerson. She's, of course, the quarterback club president and a good one.
Part of making things go.
She makes things happen. Doesn't she? It's always good to have a good president of your booster club. Par 4 Plastics, Magnolia Bank, and Mulligan's Pizzeria and Pub. Coach Courtney, we're looking at coming out here under the lights against a Webster County football team that, again, has not had a great deal of success. They lost their first game this year, didn't win much the last few years, 9 wins over the last 5 seasons. So what do you tell your guys who's been off 2 weeks? How do you get them motivated for this game? Because that's key, isn't it? I mean, right out of the chute, typically game 1, you're pumped, but with all this other going on.
Right. Well, I hope that we are. I mean, what I hope is that they saw that it could be taken away at any time. That's what I hope. And you get that when you graduate and it's over and stuff, but you never know in these times. And I hope that being off those 10 days motivate them to see it. Man, coaches are just saying that this really could happen because we don't know that. We're not promised any games now.
Sure.
So I'm hoping that'll be enough to get them going.
To get them fired up.
And it's the first one at home. I mean, we haven't had a full capacity. That place should be rocking.
It should be rocking, but of course,
rocking.
There's still some fear, among people,
true.
and
that's true.
And I had it in the newspaper this week, but I'll go over it again. The admission protocol and policy is there's no capacity, no limit on capacity. You still have to go on the ticket leap and get your ticket. Now there's a link on the Crittenden Press online. There's one on the Rocket Football website as well. Top right corner of that website. Click on it. It'll take you right to the spot to buy that ticket. And then you'll have everybody have to come through the gate. You can show it on your phone and walk right in. And then masks are optional, but they're recommended for those who are unvaccinated and even those who are going to be sitting in tight quarters up in the bleachers. I think some of them said it'd be good if you're sitting up in there, put your mask on, be kind to your neighbors because it's going around. We know that. You've been fully affected by it. So back to personnel here real quick, and back to the football game, I guess I should say. So defensively, what does Crittenden County football have to do to win this game against Webster County?
Well, we're going to see a wing tee offense, which is something that Crittenden used to run back when I was in school. It's a heavy run offense. They threw the ball a handful of times. They got down and had to do so. It was a lot of what that's for. But when they were throwing the ball, it's kind of a trick. They're running it. So we got to stop the run, and that's always our number one goal. And it'll be a good test for those young linebackers and some of those. And D-line, we feel it's not talked about as much, but we lost a ton of D-line, too. We lost 3 guys that were in there a whole lot, really just bringing back Yates down there. So for the box was our strength last year, and the box is our question now. Inverts as well. We're hybrid safeties, both new, Seth Guess and Caleb Nesbitt. So it's just going to be a good test. We're going to see a running game coming at us downhill right now. A lot of guys in the box blocking, motion, seeing if we can be disciplined. It's going to be a good test for us to see how good our box is and see where we're at.
So you're a defensive guy, so looking at this for your young linebackers, and it will be a test for them to stop the running game, but not having that passing responsibility, too, that they have against a real big passing team. I guess which would you prefer? I guess for them to face a run team, to get their feet wet.
Right now, yes, because we can figure out the pass. I always feel like that. You can figure out the pass. Our DBs are pretty good. We can do a lot of things to help them there. But if we can't stop the run, if you can't go up and tackle and take on blocks and be physical, there's just nothing. There's no plays to call. There's just no helping you. So we have to make sure that we can do those fundamental tough things.
Offensively, what do we have to do to win this football game? I know you were a little bit concerned about just the care of the football after the first scrimmage.
The number one thing we have to do is take care of the football. We have the trash can and all that stuff, and we're all excited. It's a double-edged sword, though. We better take care of it. It works the same way for us. We turn it over, we lose. And the worst thing the offense has done in the offseason to me is turn the ball over too much. The ball's been on the ground way too much. We got different guys touching it. We got young running backs. It's just been a learning curve. I mean, we're focused on it. Coach Barry's did a great job focusing on it every day. I think it'll get cleaned up, but, it's easy to do it, and it's easy to do in practice and to say, hang on the ball, chin it, do what you're taught to do, protect it. But when you get out there in a game and it's full speed, it's just different. You just try to run a little harder, and you don't take care of the ball as much. So they're young. I know there's going to be a learning curve there, but we got to really focus and take care of the football on Friday night.
Of course, on the field, you have Luke Kreider, quarterback, and he's a 3-year starter. He knows the offense. He's gotten bigger, faster, stronger. Talk a little bit about Luke, what you expect out of him.
Excited to see him because we didn't get to see him in the first scrimmage either. He's one that has no live action. But I really expect Luke to come out there and be really crisp, control the offense, and make a ton of plays, whether that's with his arm, his feet. I just really expect for him to have a big year. And I think it's going to be big for the offense. You have a veteran quarterback coming in through these times. I think he'll be able to settle everybody down if things get any crazy first game, any jitters. I think he'll be our calming force, and I think it'll be big for us come Friday night, opening the year off right.
Well, we're going to hear his number called a great deal
so.
this season. And who's some guys he's going to throw the ball to?
Preston Morrison is definitely a big threat outside, moving around everywhere, as we talked about. Caleb Nesbitt is another one. He's a home run hitter. He's just a big play waiting to happen. I expect for him to have some big plays. Trace Darrington's another one who we saw mostly defensively, but he can play offense too, and he'll do a good job. Bryson Baker, Hayden Adamson, Tanner Beverly, probably missing Logan Bailey, Case Gobin, who might be starting sometimes in that tight end position. Casey Cates went crazy in the JV game and did the same thing last year.
Yeah.
He's just a player. You put him out there at receiver, and he's another guy that hadn't played football.
No.
I don't know exactly what it was, but was it no middle school?
He didn't play in middle school or I
And
think
he played as a freshman.
Yeah, he played as a freshman.
Now,
he didn't play Little League either.
Yeah, just
he's a baseball guy, and he just kind of concentrated on that, but came out a good athlete.
Yep, he's been really good for us. Yep, he'll be out there as well. And I'm sure I'm still missing some.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, big guys up front. Let's hit that. They never get much publicity. Hit them real quick before we get off here.
They should, and just for the record, they're the most important thing on the football field. That offensive line. I know it's not the cool thing, and not all, but if we're going to win and any good team, that's where it's at. And we feel like we're pretty good down there. We got Dylan Yates, we got Ben Evans, we got Tucker Sharp, we got Deacon Holloway, we got Holden Cooksey, we got Zach McGahan. Let's see, we got Zach Counts, Coleman Stone. We have several guys that can play down there as well. And those guys, that's a pretty veteran group. We lost one starting offensive line. Ian Ellington was a really good one.
Right.
But a lot of those guys have a lot of reps down there. We feel really good about the offensive line.
And of
Really
course,
good.
Dylan Yates, highly acclaimed recruit. He's Player of the Year by the Cat's Paws in the First District Class A. And I'm sure he's gotten a lot of other preseason accolades as well. I just have not seen all of them.
Yeah, I know he's number 4 in Western Kentucky, WPSD.
Yeah, that's right. I had something
4.
about that in the press.
Yep.
So looking forward to Dylan and company up front. Lot of good sized fellows up there.
Yep.
And
We're big, strong, physical, move well. Offensive line should be really good. We expect them to be.
So also want to give a shout out to YTG Insurance, Shara on the New York Stock Exchange, and Mike and Stoner's Barbershop, where getting a haircut's always an experience. Always experience. You go down and hear about Danny Stoner's snake that he found in his house.
I don't want to know.
Well, we do have a minute or two left, Coach Courtney. Let's touch on that JV game down at Callaway County. Again, I watched some of it on the NFHS network, but gosh, you just went down there and blew Callaway County out 37-9 or
38-7.
38-7.
Yeah. We had just got done with varsity practice, and me and Coach Barry come over, and I step in. I guess it was the second play of the game, but I see Casey Cates catching the ball with his shoulder on about a 30 or 40-yard bomb, and there he goes, touchdown, second play of the game. And we were a little worried. We just came back on Saturday.
Yeah.
We, are we going to be out of shape? We're already short bodies. We only got about 16, 17 guys. We're like going to play a big 4A school. What are we getting into? And, man, they just played well. Just scored, could run the ball. Micah Newcomb was very impressive throwing the football. Defense only gave up one score, and it was early. I mean, it was just it was impressive. And I believe in my guys always, but I was a little shocked, honestly, of how it happened.
Well, you just, like you say, you do not know what to expect, and a lot of these guys have never been in under the lights. So it's a good chance for you because these guys – or a number of them are going to be on the field, and they're going to be on the field Friday night out here. Some of them you're mentioning too, and you're going to have to rely on them because you do have some personnel issues this week. Maybe rely on them a little more.
Absolutely.
So, all right, Coach Courtney, I know we're excited to see what the Coach Gaige Courtney era is going to look like. I know everybody's excited. Always good to have a hometown guy. Hey, real quick, hit your coaching staff because they're all Crittenden County guys.
Austin Berry, which we talked about, is the offense coordinator. Jared Brown, who's a defensive line, offensive line guy, and so a lot of special teams responsibilities too, and that's an important job. and knows a lot about strength and conditioning. If you're a coach, you know, like that's the things. You got to have strength and conditioning. You got to have offensive line guys, and he's did a really good job doing that. Aaron Berry helps him out there too. Brian Qualls works with the receivers and the inverts or our safety type guys who's done a great job. It's been consistently there, so knows it inside out since I've been here. And Ethan Dossett is a GA who's came in, and just having a young, passionate guy who's there all the time, who's wanting to learn, and another Crittenden County guy, so maybe we can just keep rolling this thing the way it's always been. So they've done a great job. You know, when I took this job, I was worried, you know, about filling positions and all that. They want to come back, you know, and they've all stepped right in. All were excited about it. So they've made my job easy. So I'm just grateful for all those guys.
I don't know how many coaching staffs in the state of Kentucky can boast the fact that everybody on their staff is an alumni of the football team.
For a long time.
An alumnus of the football team.
How long has it been now for us?
You know, somewhere in Al's tenure, he finally I think it may have been a little bit toward the end, last quarter of it anyway. But that was his mission. That was on his mind to get it done, and that is I'd say it's quite unique. I've been around football. In fact, this is my 35th Rocket football year. 35th? Yeah, 35th year. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Yeah. So it predates you just a little bit.
Yeah.
But and I've loved every minute of it. But I've been around West Kentucky football for a long, long time, and I don't remember even some of those Mayfield teams you would think, but no, there were a lot of teams that obviously brought people in, you know, because it's just this unique situation to have that many people back here,
right?
You know, but it's kind of like. When you come to Crittenden County, it's like Hotel California. You can check out, but you can't ever leave.
That's right. That's right.
All right. We will see you at Rocket Stadium Friday night. Come early and celebrate at the end of the game with the Rockets. I hope all the neighbors get to hear a whole lot of booms, Coach.
Me too.
All
Look
right.
forward to it.
Thank you, Coach Courtney.